are Group 4, consisting of Meryl, Nora, Jana, Anders, and I. First of all, to define what we are talking about, we have to say who is Hilti and what is fleet management. As everybody knows now, Hilti is a multinational company that develops, manufactures, and markets products for the construction, building maintenance, energy, and manufacturing industries, mainly for the professional end user. The fleet management, as in this case, provides companies with a fleet of tools, provides customized equipment labeling, online inventory management, provides insurance, provides repair service, and provides the replacement of tools after a certain time. So which use case of Hilti's fleet management is protected against imitation by our patent? Our patent refers to a method for operating a handheld working device which shoots nails into concrete, in this case electrically, with a hydraulic cylinder. First of all, of course, you have to check if the patent is in force. It was in force, and of course, you have to check who is the owner. If Hilti has actually the rights to go against imitation. Then you have to check what does the claim 1, the first independent claim, says. And in this case, I don't want to repeat the whole thing. And I just want to say the conclusion of this claim is the claim gives protection for method which recognizes an error after the activation of the nail. I mean, after the activation, which means it measures the acceleration of the nail who goes into the concrete with a sensor for a limited period of time after the activation of the trigger. The purpose of these, or the advantage of this patent, is monitoring of the device performance is possible, monitoring of the user behavior is possible, and online monitoring of the fault rates enables the faults to be eliminated internally in the unit. In other words, this patent is a basic, or is some kind of sensor which measures if there is an error in the machine. And with this message, or this signal which shows that there is an error, of course, you can do a lot of stuff regarding the fleet management. Of course, Hilti is then the only one who provides these kind of tools, who has these effects for these handheld machines. Of course, you can use this message of error message to show in the online inventory management which kind of tool is damaged. In the insurance, you can say, okay, it wasn't my fault, the machine was defect, I want my insurance, and everything works out for you. Or the other way around, you get a new one for free. And of course, the replacement of tools after a certain time is set again to 0 for the time period. So after 2 years, again, starting from this new time point, you get a new machine. Thank you.
Thanks, Johannes. This is the digital layer structure as Johannes described, and in this structure, the bottom physical word is transmitted to the top digital word through 5 layers. I will describe for each layer a pattern so that you could get a rough idea. Please, next slide. For this first layer at bottom, we could see this EP pattern. This is a handheld power tool. It has basically a tool holder tool and rotating tool 4 and an electric motor 8 there. With these elements, it could carry out basic procession functions. This is for the physical product. Please next. And at this second layer, sensor and actuator play a role. From this disclosure of this EP pattern, we could see a acceleration sensor for detecting the acceleration views and a piezoelectric sensor with this connection with other components like the controlling device and the signal transmitter. This system offers a controlling function in terms of acceleration in XYZ direction. Please next. For this connectivity layer 3, Hilti apply a pattern for an invention of a work and communication system. Here is 2. This system 2 comprise a main tool device 3, 2 and auxiliary device 5 and parallel memory 6. This communication connection can be established between them, or they can be disconnected by erasure of the pairing memory. Please next. This fourth layer is for analytics. In this invention, the data is not only transmitted but also analyzed. It checks the received data to make sure whether there's the expected configuration file. If yes, the parameters contained in this file will be implemented in a control program for a power tool electronics. Please next. At this top layer, invention give a digital service. Here we could see an interaction between the sensor device 10 and a smartphone 18. These sensor devices collect data and transmit the data to the smartphone for the users, so that this people and the computer service could be achieved. Through this whole 5 layers structure at Hilti, it will generate varying resources. That means resources of view, rarity, inimitability, and non-substitutability. Thus, achieve competitive advantages. The further advantage include the protection of technology and so that to reduce the cost. Please next. Because Angel has a business trip today, so I do the further presentation for question 3. In this page, we could see, in addition to the patents, a full-size protection strategy would further include design, trademarks, secrecy, copyright, and lead time. Please next.
As Jana explained, question 3 deals with the topic of further protection instruments. I will start with the possibility instruments that can be registered. On the one hand, there are supplementary patents, for example, possible for the protection of the further technology parts of the batteries of the handheld tools, for example. They can be applied for some product improvements, how the handheld working devices works better, for example, more efficient. they can have apply for patents in the case of safety or user-friendly features, like this fastening belt to fix the handheld working device, for example, on ladder. And for further equipment, you need, for example, the nails which you put in the working device. A further tool that they can use for further protection is the case of design. They have lots of designs, and they try to create a dominant design to generate new standards for the whole industry. And it's a useful instrument in the case of protection against copying the case of special handheld working device in its business. And a further possible to register protection instrument is a trademark for creating brand loyalty and use it as a communication function to their business customers, and to present their quality with their name. There's especially the name of the product or the product line. There are different words decided. For example, Hilti put its name Hilti on their working devices, for example, and they have also got the color mark, which is very special in the RAL 3020. In this color, every working device is designed. And they've also got the 3D mark for the case in which the working devices are transported. And now Merve will describe you further protection instruments that are not able to register.
In terms of the non-traditional IP materials, considering that the technology has shifted more towards the intangibles, we can say that some of the other protection types can be applicable in this case. For example, secrecy can be employed for the digital and software parts, such as the data collecting unit, the remote data transmission, and the app. For the digital software parts, copyright can be employed for software for the app or for software for the data processing. And also the lead time, even though it's not really an IP material, fast business and possibility to introduce the products before the competition can also be considered as a further protection instrument. So now for question 4, I hand over to Jana. Question 4, yes. Okay.
This slide is mainly to give us a rough idea about how to expand this structure to include another element that is desirable for the customer. We could see Andrea has some examples for the top 3 layers. For the connectivity layers, he gave an idea how to allow for the tools to become a smart industry that is industry 4.42. And for the analytics layer, it gives online cloud analytics for more powerful analysis and the performance monitoring and the report function. And for the top digital service, this is a tool and the data management, for example, through the digital twin. Be the next slide. This slide is about general expansion of the fleet management by use of a digital customer experience. It includes 3 aspects. That means machine park overview and additional equipment needs and the user guidelines. Through this, will give the customer a better experience. For this first, for the first point, the customer will get a contract duration for each equipment, and they got the reporting of faulty equipment and the service state of this equipment as well. For the additional equipment needs, the customer will get an idea about the delivery time and availability. From the user guidelines, they will get the menus and how-to videos so that they could have a best practice. Thank you for your attention.